All right, guys, this is an opinion piece, all right? I want you to leave me comments down below. I read them all. I'm going to interact with you, but I want a sincere, because we appear to have a round robin going on. I love the idea of Moicano versus Paddy the Baddy. I thought that was a fight we were going to get. In fact, the way my mind remembers it, when King Green stepped in, it was because King Green beat out Moicano in a battle of opinion to end up with the Baddy fight in the first place. That's the way I remember that. And when Paddy did get done with King Green, he instantly moved back to Moicano. Now, what I don't know, and I'm good at this, I don't know off the top of my head, does Moicano already have a fight lined up? I don't think so. I think he's available. But okay, stay with me because we're moving on. When Paddy got over on Green, particularly the way that he did, we over here at Bad Guy Inc. had made a comment that Paddy needs 2 fights. They got to be the right fights. But he is 2 fights away from fighting for the world title. Not just in that you could make the match. You could give him this big push. No. If Paddy has 2 more fights, the right fights, you will be demanding because it will be the right thing to do. The rankings will uphold and support that notion. And for Paddy to get on the docket with a Chandler, with a Gaethje, with a Charles Oliveira, for him to be able to get on that docket, he just needs to get close to him in the rankings. He needs an opportunity. Moicano would provide that. But you want to know who else does? Is Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is now number 5. If Paddy became 5, okay, first off, if Paddy could get the jump on Dan Hooker, we would all stand back and go, okay, we've said it 5 times now that we're wrong and this guy's better than we thought, but let's just say it again. But that would move him into something very big. And all of a sudden, there's not much of a way for the Oliveiras or the Chandlers, just by example, to look in the other direction than his. So I just want your guys' opinion, because another great one is Dan Hooker versus Moicano. You've got a bit of a round robin. And Dan Hooker can get interest in a fight as well as anybody. When he makes up his mind, and right now he's in a high, he's got the right to be. Everyone's telling him how great he is. He's got the right to feel that. He's thanking his coaches. He's thanking his team. Like, right, you just get this good feeling. And things are going to come settling down, and they're going to come settling down by this weekend. By Monday of next week, he'll be real locked into who's next. It's the only way a fighter has something to look forward to. He's got to have a deadline. And it doesn't matter if that's 5 months out or 5 weeks out. One piece that a fighter does need before things start driving him bonkers is a deadline, is a purpose, is a goal. I'm assuring you, by the other side of this weekend, Dan Hooker is going to want to know. And it won't matter to him if it's Paddy the Baddy. And it won't matter to him if it's Moicano. But it might matter to you guys, because if Hooker draws Paddy, what do you do with Moicano? If Moicano draws Hooker, what do you do with Paddy? I mean, do you see where it starts to get interesting? Like, this really does look, of all the round robins that we have going right now, and we got a tournament within light heavyweight. Dana White came out and told Ankalaev, and I'm quoting, obviously, if you beat Raychik, you will fight for the title, not knowing who the champion would be. Because you have Pereira and Roundtree also scheduled. So we got a 4-man tournament. I love that. I love 4-man tournaments. And I just think as far as this round robin where you're going to get some real good squeeze, none of them can be eliminated from Moicano to Hooker to Paddy, but it does appear the one that still has the biggest bounce. Just for parity alone, just because he's viewed, even though he's 31 years old, he's married with 2 kids, it appears that he's the new guy on the block. And that is something Moicano would love to take from him. And that's something that Dan Hooker would love to take from him. But only one of them gets that shot. Unless I need to remove Paddy from this completely, I'll admit for you that will be a surprise. If you guys take the time to leave me a comment and you come back saying the fight that you want the most between those 3 is Moicano versus Hooker, it will surprise me. But I admit it's a great fight. So I've done my part. I've teed this up. Don't blow me off here. Take a moment. Tell me. Between Paddy, between Moicano, between Dan Hooker, match 2 of those guys up. You got an odd man out. Go.